So I backed Thundering Home at 3.5. Now the trader in me said, can't resist taking a profit if I see one. So when I got filled at 3.5 instead of 3.45, went in and laid Thundering Home at 3.45 with the intention of making a quick £5 profit, because I could use that on the illustration as well. So I went in there and got the £5 straight away. So then I went back in and backed at 3.5. You can see the current price is 3.5. I was matched on that straight away. And again, the trader in me thought, well, if it does come back in, then I may as well take a profit. So laid it back at 3.45. But ideally what I was trying to do was to create a loss so that I can demonstrate a loss. And this is why I picked on Thundering Home, because I felt that Thundering Home was going to drift. At this point, Thundering Home started to do absolutely nothing. So we've got a few seconds of this video where not a great deal happens. But you can see already, backed at 3.5, laid at 3.45. That gave us a £5 profit. We're at 3.5 again, and we're waiting to get filled. Or hopefully the price will drift and we can close this out for a loss and I can get my screenshot. Now, one of the reasons I traded the second favourite was A, I thought it was going to drift. B, because the second favourite is priced at 3.45 rather than 2.5, even if I did create a loss on this, the market is telling me that there's a 30 to 40% chance that this horse will win the race, and therefore there's a 60 to 70% chance that it won't. In other words, I could create a loss on the second favourite. That loss would only come in if the second favourite went on to win the race, and therefore creating a loss on the second favourite was less risky than creating a deliberate loss on the favourite itself. So the price on Thundering Home has drifted. I need to think about exiting my position here. So I go for an exit to get my screenshot of a loss on this particular race. I'm going to try and exit at as close as I can to the current price, but you can see I had to keep adjusting it because the price is drifting. Looking for a fill at 370, but that hasn't happened, so I'm going to move the price up to 380 because that should pretty much guarantee that I take that loss, and there we go. Got my screenshot, got a £25 loss on the second favourite, but that will only be a loss if that horse goes on to win. But because that's drifted, obviously, I've begun to think, well, Keen's Royal, the favourite, is probably coming in. So I back Keen's Royal, 238 for 500. So, having seen how much Thundering Home was drifting and how it continues to drift, then there's obviously a clear opportunity on Keen's Royal coming in, because if the price on one horse drifts, the price on something else has to adjust, otherwise you'd get a completely unbalanced book. So I got partially, in fact I've got fully filled at 238 now. Quite painful trading manually, obviously much better if you're using some software to trade automatically or semi-automatically, or at least have a number of functions available to you. So I've backed at 238, and the reason I've backed at 238 is simply because Thundering Home was drifting. And I'm just clicking on refresh here to make sure that I'm reasonably up to date with the current position in the market. It's moving ever so slightly, but not a great deal. But because of the pressure on the back of the book, I'm expecting the favourite to come in a bit. So I'm teeing up my lay order here to exit the market. And you can see the price is moving in quite nicely now. So at this point, it's moved in quite a bit. Not sure if it's going to move in much more. So I'm going to lay in fact, it's just popped out a little bit more. So we'll tee up a lay at 226. I may need to adjust this price. Try again, tee it up at 220. When the price reaches 220, I'll be able to go into the market, or it will get matched at 2. There we go, we've been matched at 220. So overall, on these net positions, you can see our net positions there. We've got a £90 profit on the favourite, £25 loss on the second favourite. But because we've made this profit on the favourite, I'm going to put a £20 order in it to... So actually, if the price is continues coming, so I've probably got out a bit early, but we'll spread our profit across the book now by laying again 2.1 of £30. And if we go over to the P&L, you can see what's happened here. We've got a £58 profit on Keen's Royal. want to square this up a little bit more, so I'm going to put another order in to spread our profit across the book. Late at 2s for a fiver. We'll back the second favourite where we've got the loss to try and even that up a little bit as well. Put those orders into the market and you can see the net effect there. You can see that we've actually done reasonably well. So despite just trying to do this to grab a couple of screenshots, I've still managed to end up with a reasonable profit on this race. And in fact, Keynes Royale did win, and we got £48.20 out of this particular market. Not a bad result for just trying to grab a couple of screenshots.